When I was 8, I almost died in a chicken. This title made me laugh really hard.
When they get home, like, how do we get it off of his head? Just trying to, like, shake it off of him.
Hey, y'all. Welcome back to the Daydream Arcade, baby. My name is Brianna. This is Darryl.
Hi, that's my name, Darryl.
Hi. We're back with another motherfucking spicy Reddit stories. Can you guess what today is? Confessions.
Wednesday.
No. I felt like Dora. Can you guess what today is?
And there's just an arrow that's pointing to the different things in the room, but there's no calendar. Dora, there's nothing to point at. There's nothing to indicate that it's a day.
It's nothing.
Anyway,
I heard you have a little story from your experiences at a certain concert.
Certain man.
Of a certain man.
From specifically the bogs of Ireland.
Yeah.
Some say that this man is... So, on Sunday, I got the amazing pleasure to go see Hozier at SPAC, or Saratoga Springs Performing Arts Center, if you want to go for the full-on acronym. This is a concert that we have been hyping up, my girlfriend and I, and also I've mentioned it that I'm going to see him a few times here on the Spicy Reddit videos, and I've been telling you about it too.
Yes.
Before going into this, I'd say I'm a fan of Hozier. I'm not a diehard Hozier fan, although in the last few days I've been digging more into his discography, and a lot of his songs that, before going into this, I knew the, Take Me to Church song.
Take me to church. Yeah.
He had Too Sweet, and I had heard on some road trips, I'd heard some other of Hozier's deep cuts, like Work Song, Nina Cried Power. Like, a lot of his songs
Work Song is really good.
Yeah, Work Song is really good. A lot of his songs are, I'm trying to think of, there's an official term, like the importance of like protest and like learning from history and stuff like that.
He's pretty much like an activist.
Yeah. His songs, like when you read the lyrics, they're very much like activist songs.
Yeah.
And
that
he
man
does
is
have
an
some
ally for every cause.
Yeah. When we got there, I knew that it was going to be crowded because it was sold out, and I had never been on the lawn for a show, but this show was Hozier's most attended show in the United States so far, and the entire time that he's been playing over here. And I thought that was really cool to be part of Hozier history until, the next city. It's only a matter of time before he is selling out stadiums, in my opinion. I think if he really wanted to.
Already. Everybody loves
surprised
Hozier.
he hasn't either. Yeah, like 500-something million listeners on Spotify a year. But I knew the show, like I said, I knew the show was going to be crowded, but I didn't know that it was going to be so crowded to the point where Morgan and I were barely going to be able to sit in our lawn chairs. Because I remember when we got there, we walked down we were on like the right side of the hill, and we're sitting not like too close to the front, but we're maybe like a couple rows back. So there's the inside, but there's the outside where like the lawn is. And I noticed that people were starting to just pile up, like really pile up, to the point where we had, some leg room, and, I wasn't really going to complain, but then more people started coming down, and then more people started coming down, and then we both kind of just look at each other. We were just like, oh shit, like this is not good. And Morgan is not a claustrophobic person. She said that this was the first time that she has ever experienced it. And I mean, it also didn't help that we took a lot of edibles beforehand. It got to the point where people like they had a blanket, and I remember they folded it halfway long way so that they could fit in the remaining space that was our leg space. One of the girls, like, they were like looking around, refusing to like make eye contact with anybody that was sitting in our quote unquote row, because there's no really rows on the lawn. You just squeeze in.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to sound like a fucking male Karen here or whatever they call them. What are the Darrens? I don't know. I'm not trying to be a Darren here, but it was a little too close for comfort. Just these like 19, 20 something year olds just gathering around and like, this is coming from somebody that has been in pits before at concerts and has moshed maybe 1 or 2 times in his life.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you've ever been to like hardcore shows.
I've been to a couple punk shows.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it was hardcore, but there was some moshing going on. There was some light moshing.
There was some light moshing. I dabbled.
No one was getting their face ripped off or anything like that, but there was some gentle moshing.
Have you ever witnessed a wall of death?
No, I have seen them.
Yeah, they're pretty crazy. I've witnessed.
Is that where just like one end and the other end just
the
run?
crowd just splits into 2 sides and then they just run at each other.
Run at each other? Yeah, like fucking gladiators in war. Jeez.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
Yeah. So anyway, we were pretty close to the point where we started standing up, and when we would sit down, we could only see the screen. We couldn't see the stage. We could only see the stage when we were standing. But that's okay, because as long as we were kind of in the mood of like, even if we can't see him, as long as we can hear him, obviously.
Yeah.
Fine. And it was a beautiful night. The mosquitoes were starting to come out, but for some strange reason, as soon as that man hit the stage, no more. I didn't feel any mosquitoes.
The mosquitoes were captivated, dude.
Yeah, they were sitting down too, listening to the show. But anyway, he comes out and he opens with DeSelby, part 1, goes into part 2.
Part 1.
And it's just from there on, it's just I start to not really care so much that I am surrounded by a huge crowd of people. And a couple songs after the opening, he puts on an acoustic guitar. He comes out just himself, and he's like, "It's just gonna be me and you for a little bit. Is that okay?" And it's like, any fucking time, man. Anytime you want.
We can hang out. I promise.
And he made this really horrible joke, but just because it's him, it came off so like innocent, awkward, and charming. He said, "Saratoga Springs." And he's like, "It's a truly an honor to come and see parts of the world that are like really beautiful, like this place." And I will admit, Saratoga's a really, really pretty place. Someone that's from upstate New York. Saratoga, if anyone's ever spent time up there, it's a lot of wealthy people live up there, and a lot of people go to the horse track and stuff there, but it's a really beautiful town. But he makes this joke saying, "Saratoga Springs, it's the birthplace of the mattress." And like nobody is laughing.
God.
And then he's just like, Springs, fuck. And then he's
fucking Christ, dude.
And then just like a polite laugh goes over the crowd. And then
not a pity laugh.
Yeah, but then he goes into the song that I had surprisingly never heard before, but it's called Cherry Wine.
Oh, I know that song.
And it's this beautiful, melodic, just acoustic piece by himself.
Yeah.
And at this point, edibles had kicked in. Morg's had a cocktail.
You're just ascending.
And an edible. And I'm looking over to my left where the rest of the crowd is, where I can see the middle section is just super crowded. I thought our section was crowded. Everyone was like pressed up against each other, like arm to arm, back to back, chest to chest, ass to ass, cheek to cheek. And people are starting to put their cell phones, their lights on and putting them up in the air. And more people start doing it as the song starts going. And if you haven't listened to Cherry Wine, go on Spotify, wherever you listen to music, and listen to Cherry Wine. It's just this beautiful song. And then I remember Morgan turns to me and she's just like, "Hey, are you okay? You're like really tense." Because I'm like, she has like her head like on like my shoulder, and we're kind of just like swaying. And I'm like, I realized that I was like holding her hand, but like kind of just like my thumb was just like caressing like the top of her hand, but it was like going like back and forth, like kind of like not super hard where it was like hurting her, but it wasn't like a soft, gentle touch by any means. So she turns to me and she's like, "Are you okay? Like, you're really tense." And she had thought that I was like freaking out because of either like the edibles or the crowd being too close. And I'm like, "No, I'm like trying so hard to not fucking cry right now."
Yeah, you're just feeling it.
because like the song is just already so beautiful, and like I'm starting to learn it on guitar.
Nice.
Because I'm that guy. I just remember seeing the lights, and the first thought going through my head was like, man, to write music that powerful and to be just a voice in a time where music and just the world in general just desperately needs artists like him, and also Allison Russell, to see like that influence that they have on that many people. I just imagined myself, like, this is gonna sound really fucking cliche, but this is just how I felt. I imagined like being up on that stage and seeing. It also helped that the camera for the monitors was behind him when he was playing and the lights started coming on the phones. I imagined looking out onto that sea of people where at the beginning I was like, oh god, like fuck, like all these people are like around. It's like, oh man, I'm like this close to having a panic attack. To we're all fucking here right now, like singing this song together. And it was a moment that I don't get a lot at concerts, but I have experienced before, where I'm sure you've experienced it when you've seen the 1975. I
experience that shit whenever I go to a concert. That's the main reason why I love live music so much, because it's such a sense of community, and like we're all there for the same exact reason, that we love this artist so much, and that we get to see their music and like get to see their art. Like it's crazy.
And it's just crazy to me how that night started out, because I remember texting you briefly. I'm like, ah, shit.
Yeah, you texted me a picture of your point of view. It was just people's backs.
Yeah, and like us in like lawn chairs, basically.
Yeah.
It was crazy. If you guys are ever at a show, maybe don't do this, but if you're ever in the pit or something, or if you're in a general admission crowd, kneel down for a second and look up. That was our perspective for the first part of the show, but by the end, it was great. You know, they closed with Work Song. And it was just it was an awesome night, and getting out was so funny because we parked. There's so many different areas to park in. This is a big state park, and this is a big concert. I think the attendance was around 25,000 people.
Wow.
And that's wild that was his biggest show.
Yeah.
In the United States, I would have figured he'd played more than that at this point.
He's played like festivals and shit, so I'm like,
maybe he's counting exclusively like his show.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because obviously, you know, like when you're at those festivals, it's kind of just there are headliners and stuff, but you know, there's so many people there to see different bands and different groups. So can we really count that as like?
But I would imagine if you would go to a certain stage because a person is there, like you would want to see them, you know?
Yeah. Or you're just in the front and there's no fucking way you're getting out of there until every act is done.
I don't get those people that just like stay in the front at the same stage, but like just to see one person that they really want to see. Because how do you do anything? You have to go to the bathroom, you have to get food. You're there the entire day. That's insane.
I wonder how many people have just pissed their pants just so they wouldn't miss or lose their spot in the front.
I would rather be like in the back, to be honest, because like that's a vibe. You get to just like not be squished, and like you get to dance, you get to do whatever you want to do. It's a good time.
But yeah, man, that's just like the magic of like really good music. You know, whether Hozier is your jam or not, the whole point that I wanted to make was, you know, we started off the night being kind of like unsure about our surroundings and shit like that, but by the end, it's like it didn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
And like I said, leaving was fucking hilarious because we had we parked in a grassy lot area, and people, you know, just leaving concerts. Y'all know the drill. If you've been to a show, everyone is just trying to leave at once.
Yep. It's just chaos.
We knew ahead of time, especially given the parking spot that we were in, that we weren't getting out. So we just sat in the car and just turned on some more Hozier, just like listened to like a couple of his albums and sat there just like sipping on our drinks, and not alcoholic drinks. We didn't drink and drive.
Ooh, drinking and driving. Everybody. Ooh.
And, you know, I had a big bag of one of those big bags of popcorn that you get at like the fairs and shit. Mm-hmm. And so we're sitting there and just watching people get angry at each other leaving the parking lot. And we're just like, guys, we just left a Hozier concert. This is not what he would want.
Yeah, people are stupid.
Yeah. And then by the time we left, you know, it took a minute to get out there, but by the time we got to the exit, it was like just a straight away 5-minute drive. And I'm just like, you know, sometimes patience is a good policy to have.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome.
So anyway, that was my
glad you experienced
thank you.
that.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm looking forward to going to more concerts.
Hell yeah. I fucking love music, dude. Makes me so
too.
happy. I love concerts. They make the world go round. I remember when we
They
couldn't
really
go
do.
to concerts for a while, that was ruining my mental health.
Yeah, I really do believe that if there was something that could genuinely change the world, and if there was something that would bring peace to the world, I feel like it would be music.
Yeah.
As cringy and as unrealistic as that sounds, you know, like, oh, heal the world through music, like, bleh. Like, you know what? Maybe there's an argument that needs to be had about that, but this is our show, so
So get fucked.
I'm saying that music could heal the world, so get fucked, everybody. Anyway, let's get to these confessions.
Woo! I could go first.
Yeah, go for it. If you guys stuck
Cool.
around for that, thank you.
If not, well, sorry.
Well,
You're missing out on lore. All right. So my story. It's posted by Successful Bite 3866. Title is I Cheated,
with a period at the end.
with a period at the end, so you know that means business. Dude, why is my hair being a fucking bitch?
Tell your hair to stand on business.
I'm saying, dude. There's like a weird curl that's pissing me off.
My hair's getting pretty like long, and my hair's really thick. I've been thinking about
Me too.
getting
I
it
hate it.
like thinned out maybe, but I don't know if I here's the thing about me is that I never know what I want when I go to a barber.
Just try new shit. Like, look up hairstyles. That's what I did. That's what when I came to the conclusion to get a fucking mullet. And I need to get
That's when
this
I
bitch
came.
re-mulleted, but my fucking hairstylist isn't available till the 11th. Anyway, I cheated. This happened a long time ago, but it's still gnawing at me. The topic of body count came up, and mine is quite low. I was 23 with 2 sexual partners. I only have 3, and I'm 26. About to be 27. It's okay. Yo.
No. Whoa. I think we should save the for like
No.
later in the episode.
It's 25 minutes in.
Later into the episode.
Okay, sorry. An hour into the episode. I can say that. Got you.
Don't laugh at people's body count. Body count doesn't fucking matter.
Anyway, I was 23 with 2 sexual partners. Used to be 1 before the cheating. Yikes. And my ex made fun of me for it. She told me that's embarrassing and would prefer a guy with a lot more experience to match hers. Definitely hurt since I struggled to even get dates. I'm quite awkward and I'm only really confident with things I'm passionate about. At this point, we were 6 months in and never had sex. We never did, but in my head, she made it clear that at the very least, I wasn't what she wanted. I tried bringing it up again, but she'd just laugh and tell me that it's too late for me. Definitely stung really bad, and was probably the catalyst to the series of incredibly selfish and narcissistic decisions that followed. I went on vacation alone, despite planning for both of us. Although she seemed to have forgotten my birthday, which was the day before we were supposed to leave, didn't get any birthday texts the entire day. Yikes. It's just weird because I told her multiple times. In any case, it happened on that vacation. Ended up hanging out with someone I met at a mini club, and we talked at length about our troubles and even cried together. Ooh, trauma bonding? It's different. I didn't even notice until looking back, but my awkwardness had completely disappeared with her around. Definitely one of my most pathetic moments, but it didn't feel that way at the time. I felt like someone actually wanted to be in my company. Anyway, I came back home to many messages and calls asking where I was. I told her what happened, and she was obviously angry. I'm a piece of shit for what I did, and I could have handled things a lot better. Wait, so they just cried together?
The girlfriend and OP?
No,
The girl that they
chick.
ended up meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just cried together?
They just cried together, and that's cheating? Okay, I'm a piece of shit for what I did, and I could have handled things a lot better. It's too late to change things now, though. I don't have any excuses for my actions. Being insecure about things isn't an excuse to cheat, and yet I did it anyway. The only good thing to this is that I no longer feel inadequate or unattractive. I just feel like a genuine asshole. I'm still friends with the other girl, and we chat to this day, despite being half a country apart. Nothing ever came of it since our lives are just too different, but we helped each other with things. We even helped each other financially. I don't regret meeting her, but I regret not handling things better.
You know how some people have, and I'm not shitting on people that believe this. Personally, I don't necessarily believe this, but have you heard about people that are like, oh, you can cheat on people emotionally?
Emotional? Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like an example of what that would be. I guess shouldering something from your partner and using somebody else to talk to about that stuff when it really should be between you and your partner, I guess. Or
I guess it depends on who you're talking to, because if it's just a friend and you're just venting to them, but if it's like someone else that I guess you are attracted to, I guess I could kind of see it.
I mean, and there's also those relationships where people are pulled away from their best friend or something like that because they're the opposite gender. And, you know, it goes both ways.
Yeah.
Where, you know, there's a lot of obvious insecurity and jealousy on that end. And I don't know if, like, there have probably more than likely been stories and circumstances where that person who sees their partner being really close with that person might consider that emotional cheating because they're also concerned that they might just be cheating in general with that person when in reality they don't really have anything to be worried about. I don't know. It's weird. I also was trying to think if when you had said, oh, they just cried together and they just talked, like that's cheating.
But I mean,
I don't even know.
I guess because in the beginning they said two sexual partners, so I guess they fucked. But yeah, from what it looked like, it looks like they just talked. But I guess they did hook up.
Yeah,
you just didn't mention it during that part.
Let's go forward. You know, with the assumption that they did hook up.
And they did hang up. Okay, so this top comment, OP replied to it. The original comment said, "I don't know whether this is right or not, but your girl sounds like a big red flag. I can understand what drove you, and I didn't think you were this incredible piece of crap. People cheat for totally dumber reasons, and they don't even feel guilt." OP replied, saying, "I think regardless of what happened, I was in the wrong. Ditching her for forgetting my birthday was selfish as hell. I poured a lot into the relationship, but ultimately I was the one to ruin it. It's been a long while since the breakup, actually, and I've since been doing other things with my life. It's just startling to me that I can shift gears quite literally overnight." And then the person who originally commented replied back saying, "Were you actually happy back then, or did you shape a model of your past relationship with just good memories? Think about it. I've been cheated on, and while I was completely devastated, with time I grasped reality and realized how toxic she was. If you weren't, despite pouring all you had into it, maybe this was the only way." And then OP replied, saying, "By now I realize that she might not have been a good fit for me. I wasn't all that great either for obvious reasons. I could have pressed the issue more to compromise. Instead, I shut down and internalized it because I felt like she'd leave me if I did that. Up until the birthday thing and the breakup, that's how most of the arguments went." It definitely just seems like they were not good for each other.
Meant for each other? Yeah, no. I wouldn't even say meant for each other because it's like, I don't know about you, and I'm not trying to say that people are wrong for believing in this, but I don't necessarily believe in like soulmates or things that are meant to be. I think you just kind of just like meet people, and
I think you meet people for different reasons. I think, me personally, everybody you meet kind of gives you something, like gives you a lesson, I guess.
Yeah,
like you
absolutely.
learn more about yourself, or like how you treat people, or how you want to be treated, like different reasons for why you meet people.
Yeah. I don't think that when you're born there is a set out path where it's just like,
no,
okay, when you are 19 you are going to meet this Asian fellow, then you're going to. I didn't meet you when you were 19.
Nope, I was like 21. Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think anybody has like a set path. Everyone has different paths to go on, and it's, you know, it's up to life, and it's up to you on the decisions you make.
Yeah, and it's up to OP to forgive themselves for what happened.
OP, it happened. Cheating, I will say, cheating in any capacity is not good. It's fucked up to do to anyone, because nobody deserves that.
There's no excuse for it.
Yeah, but I do think this relationship was just not it. And you know, you learn, you live and you learn.
And you know, 23 seems like you're so not old at that point, but you've had enough life experience that it's kind of, you have that first relationship in your 20s go sour.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, oh shit, I'm gonna be alone for the rest of my fucking life.
Yeah, dude, I thought I had to have my shit together by 23, and I was like, what am I doing? I still don't have my shit together, and I'm 26. So, you know, life's a highway, dude. Everybody goes at their own pace. Okay, my next story is posted by user Derulius. Jason Derulo.
Jason Derulius.
Jason Derulius. The title is, "When I was 8, I almost died in a chicken." This title made me laugh really hard.
What?
This title made me laugh really hard. "When I was 8 years old, I really loved chicken. And one day, there was a cooked rotisserie chicken on the counter, and I wanted to eat it really bad. But I knew my parents would be mad if I did. So I decided to smell it really well by putting my head inside the chicken. It was
okay, hang on. An 8-year-old.
Yeah, this is an 8-year-old.
Stuck their head in this. How small is this kid's head?
How big is this chicken?
Yeah, and also, how big is this chicken?
That's crazy. It was a really bad idea because my head got stuck and I started choking on chicken air. And my parents weren't home. And when they got home, they had to destroy the chicken to get it off my head. And they grounded me for ruining the chicken. But I probably would have suffocated in the chicken if they hadn't got home in time. And I would have died inside a chicken.
Oh. They get home, like, how do we get it off of his head? Just trying to like shake it off of him. His mom comes in with a carving knife, and the dad comes in with a baseball bat.
Oh my god! Two very different approaches. That is really funny. I'm glad you didn't die because you were inside of a chicken.
Imagine if they had to rip it apart, and then like the ribs, like the bones inside, just like accidentally just like cut into the kid's eyes.
Oh my god! Just impaling him. That's crazy. Not the chicken.
Have you ever like pulled the meat off of a rotisserie chicken before?
Yeah.
Once you get into those ribs, sometimes like you'll like feel the side of one. You're like, damn, I could kill a man with this.
Damn, I could kill a man with this. Yeah.
All right. Disclaimer. This is fucked up. Get ready. This post was posted by Bashi Baby. I helped put a man in prison when I was 11. Years later, a woman burned him alive in his home.
Jesus Christ.
I love true crime.
I adore true crime. I don't even care that people think that's a red flag. I love true crime.
People think that's a red flag?
Yeah. People are like, oh, that's weird as fuck that you like watching shit about murder. I'm like, I just like to learn.
It's like appealing. It's like appealing that side of your brain that's, you know, a little fucked up.
It's a little morbid.
We're all a little fucked
morbid
up.
curiosity.
Yeah, we're morbid. We're all a little morbid. It's normal.
Yeah, let it be.
Like,
I'm not out here like looking for ideas. I'm not gonna go kill someone. I just know how to look for signs and like be protective of myself and the people around me.
We're just watching Psycho. And you just look over on the couch, you just have a giant notepad, and you're just scribbling away.
I have notes and shit.
Anyway, if you guys want an awesome channel to watch, it sounds weird mentioning a channel that is way bigger than us and will probably always stay that way, is Mikey's channel.
Oh, that chapter? Yes.
Yeah, that
and
chapter.
And also
Love
Coffee
that
House
chapter.
Crime.
Coffee House Crime.
I love Daydream.
Coffee House Crime. Right now, like my favorite things to watch are Scary Interesting. There's a lot of like cave exploration, like diving expeditions that go wrong. That chapter. And fucking Coffee House.
Coffee House Crime. Check out those 3, bitch. They are incredible.
Yeah. Anyway, when I was 11, I lived in a small apartment with my mom, stepdad, and sister. The apartment building was more of a house that had been split into 3 units rather than a traditional apartment complex. My family and I lived in the top apartment, while 2 families lived in the 2 remaining apartments below.
Hello?
Hello? What's happening?
It was a fire alarm. They're like testing out the shit.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, me too. I was like, oh, I'm gonna fucking die. Okay, cool. Fucking die live on fucking air.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
We can't air this video, everybody.
Fucking anyway, dude.
It's like for years, it's like, you're gonna release the footage, what, of my best friend dying?
Live on camera?
It's not live, shut up.
Shut up. It is live right now.
Yeah, I guess so. My family and I lived in the top apartment, while 2 families lived.
I literally looked behind me at Shadow. She was like, "What the fuck?"
My family and I lived in the top apartment, while 2 families lived in the 2 remaining apartments below. Both families had children, but I made quick friends with the 9 and 10-year-old from the bottom apartment as we were closest in age. I remember going to their apartment to play during the summer while my mom, who worked nights, slept. We either played outside or we hung out in what could only be described as a hoarder house, watching Olsen twin movies. I watched a lot.
Oh my god!
I used to, our babysitters watch VHS tapes of like the old Mary-Kate and Ashley series when they were kids.
Okay.
I wanted to be a detective. Anyway, Olsen twin movie. Watching Olsen twin movies.
The only thing I really know of the Olsen twins is Full House, because I watch Full House.
Ah, yeah.
I loved Full House.
And The Scandal.
Is that a show?
Never mind.
Okay.
Did they have a scandal?
Probably.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They were child stars. They get a pass.
Yeah, facts.
One thing that stands out in my memory are the stacks and stacks of kids' movies, specifically every Olsen twin movie or show to ever exist. I'm 33 years old now for time reference. I recall the older of the two girls, who I regrettably cannot recall either of their names, asked if I could spend the night once, and her mother refused. Adamantly refused. Did they? Can you not recall their names, or are you just trying to protect their identity? I recall one day her dad came home and asked me to sit on his lap while he stroked my hair. Shortly after, the mom angrily told me to go home.
Hate that.
One night while the girls and I were playing outside, just as the sun was setting, the oldest asked me to sit outside her and her sister's bedroom window and just listen after they went inside. She didn't explain to me what I was listening for. She simply asked me to be a witness to whatever happened. So I did. I listened as she begged her father to stop. I listened to her cries. I listened to every second of her pleading until my stepdad called me home for dinner. That night, I sat at the table, 11 years old, sick in my soul. There I sat frozen, not knowing what I was supposed to do. Unable to process what I'd just heard, my stepdad, after what seemed like an eternity, asked me what was wrong. I don't remember things clearly from that point. I know I told him what I heard. I know we spent the entire night at the police department. I know that man was arrested within the next few days. I watched as he was taken, and his family wept watching him go. I was never allowed to speak to those girls again, soon after they moved. I can't remember their names, but I remember the name of the man that went to prison for 12 years for the of his two young daughters. I remember at 12 being subpoenaed to court, though he pleaded guilty and I never had to testify. Years ago, I looked him up on Google, being curious about how much time he served and whether his children's names would be listed. I often think of those girls and hope they have found healing and happiness. What I found was not that information. He was burned alive in his own home by a woman. I can only imagine what horrific things he did that she had to take matters into her own hands. I cannot imagine the people he hurt after he was released. The world is better off without him in it, but that woman, and most likely the children she was trying to protect, will continue to suffer because of that man. 6 years per kid. It's not enough. It will never be enough. I hate that that man's name is the only one I can remember and will remember for the rest of my life.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, that man deserved that. I also hate pedophiles. This man deserved to be burned alive in his home, and I'm glad he was.
You know, some people sometimes are just you shouldn't wish death upon other people.
No, I'm gonna wish death.
The top comment here says, "You saved multiple future victims. You did the right thing."
Facts.
You know, by mentioning it to his dad, and I also love the fact that that after telling the dad that it wasn't like a kind of like, oh well, we shouldn't go into their business. It's not our house. It's not our family.
I'm glad they jumped into action. Like that's admirable. I don't like that they were forbidden to talk to the other two girls because it wasn't their fault. Like
yeah,
but maybe like not go to their house is very understandable.
All right, moving on. All right, my next post here is posted by Independent Linner.
What?
Or Linner?
Inner?
It looks like an L.
What? You just went independent.
Independent Inner 5498. God damn it. I have all this money, but no one to leave it to. Guess who's not getting it? Brianna, because she keeps flustering me. I'm flabbergasted.
You're flustering.
You're flustering. Your mom is flustering.
Your mother is flustering.
Your mom should go fluster. Okay, let's get serious here. I have late-stage pancreatic cancer, and for the most part, I'm a dead man walking. I've accepted it. I still have some time left that I can enjoy. I didn't know how hard it is to get your affairs in order. I've been working since I was 16 and saved. I wanted to retire at 50, but I'll be dead at 43. That's so young, man. That sucks. I reviewed everything from retirement to cash to life insurance, my house, etc., and I have about 2.5 million net to my estate.
Wow.
I have no one to leave it to. I have no kids of my own, and I'm not on speaking terms with my siblings, although they all of a sudden want to reconcile and be my best friend. Yeah, I'd imagine so.
I bet.
They didn't reach out until after I was told that it was terminal, which was months after I was diagnosed. Had one person reach out or even asked if I needed a ride to the hospital, then I'd leave everything to them. I have 6 nephews, but only met one when he was 7, and now he's 17. He's turning into a mess like his parents, so that would be a bad idea to leave him money. The family would hound him for some, and that's not fair to put a target on his back or give him the means to do stupid shit. Smart. It disgusts me that people are more concerned about what I'm doing with my money and house rather than how I'm doing. Yeah, it doesn't that suck when family really shows their true colors? I haven't been through something like that, but damn, that's gotta suck. Like, really hard. I can't trust them to follow through on any final requests, like spread at the beach. Spread my ass cheeks at the beach. Spread this pussy at the beach.
Spread eagle at the beach.
Yeah, they'd probably throw away my ashes the minute the check clears. I haven't decided what I'm going to do. I'm not leaving any to charity or strangers. Fuck off if you're going to ask me for money, so I'll leave my estate matters unresolved to let my family fight over. Well, goddamn! I guess don't donate to charity is what this guy's tried to say. I hope most ends up going to lawyer fees. Edit, I am not leaving anything to fund college scholarships. I'd leave money to a politician before giving it to a college. Oh!
Damn, that's fair.
Yeah.
That is fair.
Yep. College, politics, they're all scams. You gotta choose one or the other.
Scam.
I guess.
You know,
what are your thoughts?
This is really rough. I feel awful that he doesn't have anybody really to, like, he didn't really have anyone to lean on. He's kind of doing this on his own. He's going through this fucking solo. Mm-hmm. That's horrible.
Man, 2.5 million is a great deal of an estate. And it sucks, like you said, that it doesn't have anybody to leave it to. And it really fucking blows to see that your siblings came out of the woodwork after you were diagnosed with a terminal disease.
Yeah.
It's crazy what money will do to people.
Yeah. They really show their true colors. It's pretty disgusting. Guys, if you want to see the other spicy Reddit stories, we have a whole ass playlist of all the other episodes. You don't have to watch them in order. You can just go crazy, see whichever one tickles your fancy, and just kind of binge that if you're interested in more.
You can also get these stories on the go on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and unfortunately no longer Google Podcasts because that shut down. And but that's okay. Most people listen on Spotify, and if you are listening on Spotify or Apple, rate the show. Give it a 5 stars.
If you want to follow all of our socials, it's going to be down in the description below. Whatever you use that you find us on, follow us. Why not?
Today's your birthday. Happy birthday. And we'll see you guys in the next spicy Reddit video.
Hell yeah, brother.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye. 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 Goodbye.